The FDA just dropped a bombshell announcement about a series of new measures to phase out all petroleum-based synthetic dyes from the nation's food supply. But that's only one type of food ingredient that's facing an imminent ban. There are 10 common foods and additives that we love and may be consuming every day that are just about to be yanked from store shelves, and their diabetes connection is shocking. Even if you are not in the USA, if you are serious about your health, you should be looking into avoiding these foods at all costs. You may have thought they were harmless, but behind the scenes, the government has known the risks for decades. And now, it's time you knew. Here's what you need to know. These bans target ingredients proven to spike blood sugar. All items are being phased out by 2026 at the latest, and manufacturers are scrambling to reformulate their products. So in today's video, we're taking a close look at the newly released information which reveals the top 10 everyday foods and additives that are quietly damaging your blood sugar and metabolic health. You'll discover exactly how these ingredients disrupt insulin, spike glucose levels, and increase your risk of chronic disease, often without you even knowing. Plus, we'll share better, safer alternatives to help you protect your health and avoid the hidden traps in your pantry. First up is something hiding in plain sight on nearly every ingredient list. Those vibrant colors that draw you towards consuming more of your favorite drinks are also found in so-called healthy foods. And they're made from petroleum-based chemicals that are closely linked to hyperactivity, behavioral issues, and cancer risks. So the FDA is immediately revoking Red Number 3 under the Delaney Clause, a rarely used power that bans any additive shown to cause cancer in animals. And the rest of these face elimination by 2026, with natural additives like butterfly pea flower extract fast-tracked for approval. For diabetics, these dyes create a double threat. They're found in ultra-processed foods that spike blood sugar, and studies suggest that they may directly impact insulin sensitivity. Have you checked your medicine cabinet? These dyes hide in pills and cough syrups too. But wait until you see how the next banned item has been sabotaging your metabolism for years. The 92 billion SNAP program, or food stamps, will no longer cover soda, candy, and ultra-processed foods. This affects 42 million Americans and redirects 42 billion annually toward whole foods. Secretary Kennedy called it unconscionable that taxpayers fund the very products driving our diabetes epidemic. The policy targets foods with more than 5 ingredients or containing industrial additives. This change helps low-income diabetics access real food instead of cheap, blood sugar spiking choices. Early pilot programs showed A1C levels dropped an average of 1.2 points when SNAP benefits shifted to whole foods. What processed foods do you rely on that might be affected? The next item is even more surprising. It's in 80% of packaged foods despite being linked to fatty liver disease. This cheap sweetener floods school meals and federal food programs, but not for long. HFCS metabolizes differently than regular sugar, creating unique risks for diabetics. Unlike glucose, HFCS bypasses the insulin-regulated metabolic pathway, heading straight to your liver where it triggers fat production. Studies show it increases diabetes risk by 20% compared to equivalent calories from other sources. The ban starts with school lunches, where HFCS-laden chocolate milk and flavored yogurts will be replaced with naturally sweetened choices. Kennedy's plan includes revising corn subsidies that made this sweetener artificially cheap. For diabetics, removing HFCS means fewer hidden sugar bombs and more stable blood glucose. When did you first learn about HFCS dangers? Many people still don't know. The next banned ingredient might be even more widespread in your kitchen. Canola, soybean, and corn oils are being kicked out of school lunches nationwide. These highly processed oils contain inflammatory omega-6 fats linked to insulin resistance. These oils didn't exist before the 1900s, but now make up 20% of calories in the American diet. The extraction process involves hexane solvents, bleaching, and deodorizing, creating trans fats and oxidized compounds. For diabetics, replacing these oils with olive oil or avocado oil can reduce inflammation markers by up to 30% in just 2 weeks, potentially improving insulin sensitivity. The policy starts with schools, but aims to shift all government food programs by 2026. Which cooking oils do you use at home? The fifth item on our list affects every school child in America. Frozen pizzas, chicken nuggets, and sugary cereals are getting the boot from school cafeterias nationwide by 2026. Arizona leads this shift, with other states following quickly. These factory-made foods contain little nutritional value but plenty of refined carbs, seed oils, and additives. Studies link them to a 50% higher diabetes risk in children who consume them regularly. The new guidelines need 80% of school meals to be minimally processed whole foods. Early adopting schools report better behavior, improved test scores, and fewer sick days. For diabetic children, this change means stable blood sugar throughout the school day and better long-term health outcomes. Have you noticed changes in your school's lunch program yet? But the next banned item might be in your coffee right now. Aspartame, sucralose, and saccharin face new warnings and potential bans after studies show that they disrupt gut microbiomes and may increase diabetes risk. These zero-calorie sweeteners trick your brain, but not your body. New research shows they trigger insulin release despite containing no glucose, potentially worsening insulin resistance over time. Kennedy's plan starts with education campaigns highlighting choices like stevia, while regulatory reviews advance. School vending machines must remove all artificially sweetened products by 2025. For diabetics who've relied on these sweeteners, this news requires rethinking daily habits, but may explain why blood sugar control remained difficult despite avoiding sugar. Which artificial sweeteners do you now use? The seventh item reveals a massive loophole that's let thousands of untested chemicals into our food. The generally recognized as SAFE or GRAS system allowed food companies to self-certify additives without FDA review. Kennedy's overhaul requires mandatory notification and third-party testing. This closes a 65-year-old loophole that let substances like BHA and titanium dioxide enter the food supply with minimal safety data. Under the new rules, the burden of proof shifts to manufacturers. For diabetics, this means fewer untested chemicals that might impact glucose metabolism or insulin function. The reform targets 3,000 plus substances now used under GRAS status. The changes phase in over 3 years, with priority reviews for the most widely used additives. Did you know companies could add chemicals to food without government testing? The eighth item is actually becoming legal after decades of prohibition. While not banned, raw milk faces the opposite change. Kennedy supports legalizing interstate sales, arguing pasteurization destroys useful enzymes and nutrients. Currently, 18 states ban raw milk sales entirely, while 32 allow it under certain conditions. The new policy would create federal standards for safe raw milk production while allowing interstate commerce. For some diabetics, raw milk's intact proteins and enzymes may cause less glycemic impact than conventional milk. However, the FDA still warns about bacterial risks, especially for immunocompromised individuals. This represents a major shift from decades of strict prohibition toward regulated access. Have you ever tried raw milk products? The taste difference is significant. The ninth item targets breakfast favorites that are secretly desserts in disguise. Products like Fruit Loops and Go-Gurt containing more sugar than desserts will be barred from school programs and face new labeling requirements. A single serving of these breakfast foods can contain 3 to 4 teaspoons of added sugar, half a day is recommended most. The new rules need reformulation to contain less than 6 grams of added sugar per serving. For diabetics, these stealth sugar bombs create morning blood sugar spikes that can affect levels all day. The policy prioritizes low sugar choices in government food programs. Manufacturers have until 2026 to reformulate or face exclusion from the 18 billion school food market. What's your go-to breakfast? You might need to reconsider after all this news. The final banned food might be the most controversial of all. Hot dogs, deli meats, and bacon treated with sodium nitrite face school and SNAP bans because they form carcinogenic compounds called nitrosamines when cooked. The World Health Organization classified these groups as Group 1 carcinogens, the same category as tobacco. Beyond cancer risk, processed meats are linked to a 51% higher diabetes risk in regular consumers. The new policy promotes naturally cured choices using celery juice or cherry powder, which contain lower concentrations of nitrates and extra antioxidants that block nitrosamine formation. For diabetics, this change addresses both cancer and diabetes risks, as processed meats rank among the worst foods for insulin sensitivity. This finishes RFK's Toxic 10 initiative, the most aggressive food safety action in decades. What do you think? Were you as shocked as I am? Now you know what to avoid, but what about all those sugar substitutes everyone's talking about? Some might help, but others may be doing more harm than good. Watch our video, The Truth About Sugar Substitutes in 2025, next. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you stay ahead of your health curve.